Okay, old man with the plan is back. First thing I need to do is to, between those two poles, is set up my netting for my split peas. I'm going to have to measure it. I just bought some netting online. I've never used this method before, but I'm going to give it a try. I got stainless steel wire. This is some wire that a lineman gave me that they had left over and they were going to throw away. I just took it, but any wiring would work. Wiring, even some sort of string you could tie it up there, just so it was tied up. Said I've never used this wire before, so I'm not sure how taut it should be, but I'm going to make it kind of taut, and then I'll just go from there. Maybe put a couple more up there so I know for sure they can withstand the weight of the vines. Okay, that looks pretty good. I'm satisfied with it. These little pieces of wire, when I'm done with them, I always hang them back on the fence, and that way I can use them over and over again. If you noticed, I did use some of the small ones that I hung over there. Probably once they start growing, I'll probably anchor the bottom a little bit, or maybe I'll do that today too. But like I said, I want to leave a little room. It gives me some room to hoe underneath it. Also, if you notice too, I'm wearing a red bandana today. It's getting pretty sunny out today. It's going to be a beautiful day. It's not a record high or anything, but it's in the 80s for Western Pennsylvania in the end of April, which is a little bit warmer than normal. Or normal highs around 68. But it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so I wanted to get some of the stuff in. Our last frost is usually around the middle of May, but the root vegetables and some of those other things we can plant today. But the red bandana is number one to keep the sweat, and number one to protect this bald head a little bit. It gets a little bit sunburned, and you know how that goes for us old guys. We don't want a sore head. Okay, I'm going to start in the kind of the furthest point from the garden. Like I said, put some of the kales and radishes and stuff down here. You have to break a little bit. It seems like all the rocks come down here at the bottom, and that's okay. You don't have to have a big garden. Just enjoy it. Like I said, don't get too much at the begin with where you don't really enjoy it, because it's supposed to be fun and it's a hobby unless you really need the food, and we enjoy eating the food. And it does feel good when it starts growing. It looks a lot better when it starts growing too. Now stuff I have to thin, like radishes and carrots and beets, I'll rake a little finer than what I will some of the other stuff that has the bigger seeds. It's easier to space apart. And I'll be the first one to admit I don't remember the depth to plant these. That's why always read the back. And it will tell you when you can plant, stuff like that. It says March through May in here, so I'm fine now. Well-worked soil after cover with 1/2 inch of fine soil. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, everybody does it different, and as I've said before, find the way that works best for you and just do it. We've been successful in this garden for quite a few years. Once we both retired, we're kind of expanding it a little bit and growing more stuff and trying to get more out. My wife does do a lot of canning. So this is kind of how I kind of do it. The soil's pretty dry, and that's good. I know about what a 1/2 inch is. I don't think it needs to be exact, but you do need to be close. If it goes too deep, that's not very good at all. And I do try to space them out as much as I can. But these small seeds are really hard sometimes to get to fall. If anybody has great ideas on a good way of doing it, I would be more than willing to listen to them in the comments. Fertilize it. I don't normally fertilize it. Just like I said, I just happen to find that around. Chickens are going to put fertilization in it, and I do compost. I don't know whether you can see it on the video, but the compost is over there. I think the next row I'm going to put some lettuce. Now, lettuce is also a fine seed, so I'm going to put it relatively, rake it out real good. Now, there's always debate on distance between rows. Some people like them tighter, some people like them further, some people follow exactly the directions. Whichever way you prefer. I like to make sure I can hoe between them. or at least walk between them. I don't usually measure them, I just look and see. I feel like I can walk between them, that's good. We have two types of lettuce here. We have a green salad bowl and a butter crunch. I do know I like the butter crunch. I think I'll put them both in the same row. And depth in soil, this one is only an 1/8 inch. This one is 1/8 to 1/4. So like I said, I'll pay attention to the depth. Here, it's not very deep when you're looking at an 1/8 inch. Seeds are very tiny, so forgive an old man if he's got to put his glasses on. I'm trying to gently shake these out because they're so tiny you can't really even grab them. And it takes a little bit of patience here. Let me deep there. Now the next pack is an 1/8 to 1/4. That's that butter crunch. We have planted that before in the past. I do like this. This is the first time we've ever planted this mix here. Green salad bowl. Sometimes when you buy seeds, you think you're getting a good deal, but they don't really put a lot of seeds in them. Okay, lettuce is done. Okay, I think next I'll put in the kale. And our kale is mostly for our bunny. At least we have a Flemish giant, at least it's kind of pet bunny. We used to have meat rabbits a long time ago. Don't have them anymore. Kind of miss them, but maybe I'll get started again someday. Okay, kale, and a depth of 1/4 to 1/2 inch. There isn't much exciting about this part of gardening. Excitement starts when it comes up. Okay, now we're going to plant some sugar and snap peas. They say, somebody wrote on them 1 inch deep, 2 feet apart. Well, I'm only going to put them 1 foot apart. This is the first time I've ever grown them. I think I've been referencing them as split peas. They are not. They are snap peas. Excuse my old age stuff. But it also wants it 1 inch deep. And as I said, this is the first year we've planted these. So I'm not sure how they're going to come up. My wife bought these online, so there's no germination information or anything else on them. I might have to look it up. Okay, I got a couple panels and I put them together with some wire up here. I'm going to use this for cucumbers. Last year we planted cucumbers and I had a smaller teepee and it just made it hard to get the cucumbers out. This year I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger, try to keep them up in the air, and it might make it a little bit easier to pick the cucumbers this way. At least I'm hoping. It's always nice to try something new and expand your knowledge, I guess, of planting. Hopefully this works okay. I used wire to tie these together. I can fold it up. Now I'm not planting cucumbers yet because it's a little bit too early for cucumbers. They're not frost tolerant and they may go up here in this area if I get a late frost. So I'm just kind of doing this right now to give me the space and where we want to put it. I might put it up in towards the other end of the garden, up towards where the chickens are, because it does get a little bit better sun. I get great morning sun here. The afternoon sun, sometimes it's blocked a little bit by the trees and I get some good evening sun, but down in this area I'll plant the kales and some things that don't require as much sun to like it a little cooler, like kale, broccoli, things of that nature. But I'll put the cucumbers up there in that end this year just to see how that works out, and we'll see how this teepee. The nice thing about these panels, I can always use them for other things, flip it on its side and use it for something different. I didn't have any more panels. That's kind of why I went with the netting for the split peas, and we'll see how that works. Now I can plant them. I'm going to try to get some things in today because it's supposed to rain, and tomorrow tomorrow evening, I believe, and that rain and this heat in the soil might get me germinate a little bit early. But I'm going to continue to work in the garden today and get some things planted and get them to start growing. Okay, we're going to try to put this cucumber trellis up in the air a little bit. Please bear with me, as I've never done this before either. But what I'm going to try to do is put stakes in here and see if I can hook it up to the thing. I need to get it up a little bit off the ground, make it a little bit easier to hoe and stuff like that. So I'm going to pound in a stake here. Great, I'm going to try to see if I can tie it up in the air a little bit and see how that works out. So maybe I should get something sitted on first. Hang on. Said I've never used this before, and I might just leave those in there. Give it a little extra stability, I guess. I've never tried to stake cucumbers up like this. Like I said, I had a small one. Actually, last year I used a board across there and just slanted them up. So it worked out okay, but I think it could have been better. So that's why I'm trying something new. And then this will give me a little room to hoe or underneath it, and maybe plant the cucumbers on the inside. Bring them up through like that, I think is how I'll do it. Now let's work on the other side. There, and like I said, I'm not going to plant cucumbers, but I got to lay out the garden. I tried to get my wife out here to help me lay it out a little bit. She did, but she didn't want to make sure that she didn't get on camera. I try to make her part of the actual setup. I do the planting and usually the maintaining. She does the harvesting and the canning and stuff like that. And we help each other. Okay, that'll be the cucumber, and that'll be the snap peas. I have to go with the season. The season says right now is time to garden. And then as it goes up, as the season moves on, I'll be more weeding, and then we go to harvesting and everything else. I do have some other videos coming up. Here, I'll try to put one on once a week. And if you like it, once again, please share, like, and subscribe. Once again, this is the Old Man with a Plan. Thanks for viewing.